lose another body.
Oh, Mayor is still on. Okay. What's that?
Wait, who's that guy sitting there?
Yeah, I see that.
Interim.
Oh, okay.
Director of Plan Development. He's interim for MPO.
Oh, okay.
P-I-T-T-O-S. Pitos. First name.
So Matt, you guys, are you doing hybrids or are you doing, what are you doing for me?
Yesterday.
We're meeting. Waited till.
Any virtual stuff at all for the audience? Or you?
No, not, well, yeah, they can if they want, yeah. But we've been meeting, we space them out and everything.
Just over on the other side? She must.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, very Lance Smith.
There he is.
And all. Yep. Oh, she's
going to be.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I feel my
perfect.
her.
Oh, perfect. All right, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Do it first.
Yeah, I think we
You
ought
need
to
to
do
do
it
it first. Do it first. We need to, if there was any reason to record, you gotta record at the beginning of the meeting.
Okay.
So do your roll call. Do your,
We'll do the minutes, roll call.
no, don't do minutes yet. You can't do any action
Oh,
items
okay.
until we vote for,
Okay,
chair.
Thank
and
you.
Vice chair. So we'll roll call. Yeah.
The TMA and all.
You can do that anytime though. Yeah, I'm not doing team.
Yeah, we've got to get
by the
this.
way. So you have to take me off that. I got appointed to that when I wasn't even here one time. Good. So roll.
That's, that's the beauty of,
Yeah.
you don't show up yet.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
So do roll call.
How you know where you are right now?
Lance, do roll call and then do reorganization.
Okay.
Like the what? Sorry. Okay.
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 We're live, by the way, on YouTube right now.
We can leave that where it's at, then, can't we? Okay. Thank you. Hey, help, I'm gonna need some help on everything, everybody, so.
What is your name again? I'm sorry.
Carrie.
So we're live.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. Lots of hats. Lots.
Is everybody ready?
Are you ready there?
Ready.
I feel like.
You ready?
Oh, I've been ready.
Good.
You're always ready, right?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Diane, you ready?
Yeah, just hit it. Just hit it.
They said that.
We're live. Just hit it.
Okay, I'd like to call to order the meeting for the Metropolitan Planning Commission. At the invocation, let's have the pledge followed by the invocation. And for the pledge. I'm sorry.
Hey, can I help you? Hey, if we can mute the microphones in the West Pasco office and anybody that, if you're online right now, can you mute your microphones too?
So we will do the invocation.
O merciful Creator, your hand is open wide to satisfy the needs of every living creature. Make us thankful for your loving providence and grant that we, remembering the account that we must one day give, may be faithful stewards of your good gifts. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I want to thank everybody for coming today. I'm not Jeff Starkey. I'm Lance Smith. I'm the vice chair. The first thing we do need to do is reorganize our Oh, I'm sorry, do the roll call. Thank you.
Councilman Matt Murphy,
Here.
Mayor Scott Tremblay, Mayor Camille Hernandez, Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Here.
Commissioner Mike Moore,
Here.
Commissioner Catherine Starkey, Commissioner Christina Fitzpatrick,
Here.
Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Here.
and Councilman Lance Smith.
I'm here. Okay, and the one thing I do need to note, I think Will Dittmer is here in the place of Scott Tremblay. Is that right, Will? Are you there?
That's to unmute his microphone.
I can see his icon. Okay, well, I believe he's here, but I guess we can confirm it later. Okay. Will, are you there? Well, if he comes online, we'll go ahead and amend. The first thing we do need to do is reorganize our chair and our vice chair, and I
I make a motion for Lance Smith to be chair.
Second.
have a motion and a second. All in
We
favor?
have to do this in roll call, if I'm not mistaken.
All in favor?
No.
Roll call. Do we have?
You
to?
need
a roll call vote, please.
Got members at
Because
virtual.
with virtual, everything's roll call, is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's correct. All roll call, please.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote on this.
Councilman Matt Murphy,
Agree.
Mr. Will Dittmar,
Come on up.
Mayor Camille Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Aye.
Commissioner Mike Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Christina Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Aye.
and Chairman Lance Smith.
Aye. And we would probably need to have a vice chair at this
Make a
time
motion
as
for
well.
Mayor Camille Hernandez for vice chair.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for Mayor Camille as the vice chair. I'll have a roll call vote.
Councilman Matt Murphy,
Aye.
Mr. Will Dittmar, Mayor Camille Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Aye.
Commissioner Mike Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Christina Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Aye.
and Chairman Lance Smith.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you, guys, and I appreciate your patience in me trying to fumble through this as well. The one thing I would ask you to do is, we need some people to mute because we still are getting a little bit of noise on this end, and I'm not sure where it's coming from. So if you could just be diligent about muting, that would be great. Going on through the roll call, we have the proof of publication that we published the meeting. And now we're at the point where we call for public input, and I'm unfamiliar with the procedure on this hybrid, so I'll just call for the public input. Does anybody want to have public input at this time? Okay. Is there anybody signed up via WebEx or email? Seeing none and hearing no one, I'm going to move on to the next.
Mr.
Agenda
Chair,
item.
Mr. Chair, could you confirm there's nobody at our kiosk as well?
Say that again?
The kiosk.
We have a kiosk. I just want to confirm there's nobody at our kiosk to speak.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you. And also, I'm asking for public input from the kiosk, whatever and wherever that is.
Over near the courthouse. I don't know.
There is no one at the kiosk.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you. And one of these days, I'm going to find that kiosk. Okay. Let's move on to the approval of the minutes of the
Motion
prior
for the
meeting.
minutes for September
Second.
10th.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? We have to do roll call on this?
Roll call.
Roll call vote? Everything.
Councilman Matt Murphy,
Aye.
Mr. Will Ditmore, Mayor Camille Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Aye.
Commissioner Mike Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Christina Fitzpatrick, Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Aye.
and Chairman Lance Smith.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, the first item that we have is the committee reports. And do we have the Citizens Advisory Committee report at this time? Okay, Marilyn, are you there? No, Marilyn?
Let's do the BPAC reports and then let me see if I can contact
Okay.
Marilyn.
We'll move on to the Bpac. Marilyn, if you do come back, we'll try and come back to you. The Bpac report, who's giving that?
Tina Russo.
Russo,
Okay,
Active
Tina.
Transportation Planner.
Very good.
Dr. Randy Sobel, who is our chair, is having computer problems, so I'm going to provide the report for him. On August 25th, we had our first hybrid virtual meeting, and it was at Newport Richey. We had a quorum. The public comment we had was there was an interest on a facility on Old Dixie Highway, and that was part of our list of priority projects. And that was one of our main focuses at that meeting, was looking over the list of priority projects, both in that table 1 and the TA, which are our sidewalks and multi-use projects. And then we also had a discussion about our Tri-County BPAC meeting, which was held in September, which was a lengthy discussion about a regional trail bike ped map that Hillsborough, Pasco, and Pinellas is working on. And that's it for that report.
Marilyn DeShant here.
Oh, hey, Marilyn, hey,
Hello?
thank you for the BPAC report. And does anybody have any questions on the BPAC report? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on. And you say,
Hello?
Marilyn, you're there.
Yes, I am. Now,
Very
I'm not sure what happened, but anyway, I am here. And would this be an okay time for me to read the reports from the November and December CAC meetings?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. For some reason, I'm having a hard time hearing you all, but anyway, I'm unmuted now. Okay, thank you so much for your time. I'll just read what we have here. First of all, I want to greet all of you and appreciate being here. I also want to welcome new Commissioner Christina Fitzpatrick on her now being on the board, and also Catherine's re-election. The CAC had 5 members on site for the November 4 meeting, and that took place in Newport Richey. There were 3 present virtually. It was noted that Kelly Miller, who had been representing Colonial Hills Association on the CAC, had resigned from the committee. And also at that November meeting, we were informed that Ronnie Blackshear, the MPO director, was no longer with the county, and also Jose Canderas was no longer a member of the CAC. There is an opening for representation from the city of Port Richey, and CAC member Clint Wynn and I have provided staff with names of potential new members so that we can fill out our CAC committee. There was no one present at this meeting for public comment. Minutes of the last CAC meeting on September 9 were reviewed and approved. Let's see here. Steve Hickman noted that he had been excused, and that really takes care of that. Regarding the current actions of that item, now remember, I'm still speaking in regard to the November meeting. Jensen Hackett of FDOT provided an update on item A, clarifying SR 56 and its roadway classification to functional. With some discussion and change request was approved unanimously. Action item B was a PowerPoint provided by Margaret Kublins of the Tampa Bay Next as information only, as an information only item, followed by questions from the CAC. I asked if the initiative also included information from Vision Zero, and she noted that it did include data from Vision Zero as well as Safe Trip. It emphasizes methods of construction that can help reduce accidents and deaths caused by roadway collisions. Also, another member of the committee asked for more information about how the zipper merge worked, to which Margaret commented that the system is much safer, creating a safe traffic flow for merging traffic during construction projects. There was no report from the PCPT at the time. Under other business, Ms. Gorman sent by email to the CAC members a proposed new schedule for the CAC meetings in 2021. CAC meetings will be scheduled every other month rather than every month, taking place either in Newport Richey or Dade City. This change made it so that would make it possible for staff to have more time to provide agendas with more robust material and follow-up reports. During the CAC roundtable, Steve Hickman had asked for that so that when we do meet, we would have all the information needed. And let me see, there was also comment regarding the diverging diamond in Wesley Chapel, and this information was made available, will be made available to constituents, business colleagues, and residents in Dade City, et cetera, and so forth. Without further discussion, that meeting was brought to a conclusion. Now, that was the November report because there was no meeting, a quorum at the MPO directors meeting. So now, as of December 2nd, the MPO met again in Dade City. It was established that there was a quorum. Now, of course, I've already read into the minutes the November meeting. Let's see here. Action on VA on your current agenda, or I should say 5A on your current agenda. Vision Zero Phase 2 was presented by Casey Curry of AECom, and with the assist of Tania Foreman of the MPO staff. She said she was able to collect a good deal of information, including videotape, photos, and crash data, as she and staff members worked to prepare material for presentation to a variety of stockholders concerning the project, especially regarding the engagement and education about Vision Zero, to include pedestrians, drivers, buses, schools. And Catherine Starkey has also been helpful to provide the MPO with trail information. Now, regarding your action item 5B, it says here, pertaining to the AECom support of the MPO staff due to current shortages on the MPO personnel, the question from CAC inquired about the search for a new executive director, and Tania said the matter was still ongoing. Both of these actions, A and B, were approved by the CAC, with a note that there were a couple of items in the AECom packet that needed to be reviewed and updated. Under action item 5C on your agenda today is comments included from the CAC were in regard to Suncoast Parkway 2, mentioning the presentation and discussion following the timeline for the 5441 completion. I believe it was a question that was directed to Jensen at the time. Okay. Also mentioned was the work that had been taking place a couple of years ago with 5441 task force about the decisions that were made at that time for regional planning to take into account the solutions that would include possible passover on 41 and the perpetual flow intersection at 54 in Wesley Chapel area, although I do believe that there is a diverging diamond going on at that time. However, the CAC members who were included in the task force for 54 and 41 just wanted to make sure that their work at that time was included in future considerations. Kurt from the PCPT provided an update regarding the county's public transportation system. There were no questions concerning the status of the service, but there was one regarding Shady Hills, because that had been something that would be offered as of October of this year. Kurt did say that there was a delay due to the COVID situation, and the matter is being addressed. We also have item 6 that was presented by Tania in regard to the regional LRTP plans, the status update. And then under the CAC member roundtable, Steve Hackman did ask that there would be more robust follow-up on especially items that are outstanding in regard to one concern he has with the construction at Prospect Road and Clinton, noting that large trucks trying to maneuver that corner have a difficult time, and he's concerned about potential accidents. He inquired about an installation of a stoplight. Jensen Hackett from the FDOT noted that there would be a cost factor installing a light, but that he would look into that. In regards to a final notes of this meeting, we learned from Tania Gorman that Manny's virtual retirement gathering would take place on December 9. All of us wished him well and thanked him for his many years of excellent work with the Pasco County's MPO. Also discussed among CAC members was the need for committee members to find alternates for their positions. We have a full board or committee at this time. However, alternates will be important for those members who would not be able to attend. That is the conclusion of my 2 reports for November and December. Are there any questions?
Does anyone have any questions for Marilyn? Marilyn, I certainly appreciate your time and your reports on those. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I have enjoyed being chairman for this past year for that committee. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you.
The same to you, Marilyn. Thank you. Okay, and we have included the Citizens Advisory was in both meetings. And then also the next is the Bpac meeting for December 8th. Tina, you had included that in your report as well, had you not?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, go if you want to go over the December 8th meeting for us. Thank you.
So again, I'm reporting for Dr. Rainey Stovall, who's our chair. We did not have a quorum. We had 4, but we had quite the group virtual at that meeting. No public comment was made at that time. The main focus, important items on this meeting was our Vision Zero project. We had a lengthy discussion kind of explaining what Vision Phase 1 was about and how we were going to proceed with Vision Phase 2. And you're going to get some of that same report today as well. One of the biggest reports that we had was from Sam Bennett, really giving the group a really detailed explanation of several projects that were in works, including Orange Belt, Suncoast Parkway overpass, and several other projects that we're working on. Sam gave a great presentation on where we're at on all those projects, and then we had a great conversation about all of those projects and input from the committee as well. And I believe that we went over our bike ped map, which we've been working on for quite a while, and had some great comments both on our bike ped map and our Vision Zero 2 project that you're going to get some information about today. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, Tina, I appreciate that. Any questions for Tina? No? We'll move on to the, and thank you, Tina, for that. Let's see, item 5, I think we've already handled, haven't we? We haven't?
The amendment to the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I notes wrong. Okay, item 5, who, Terry? And I apologize, I didn't introduce Terry Pitos, correct?
Yes.
He's filling in and for as the director of the MPO at this time. Terry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Terry Pitos, Acting MPO Executive Director. Item 5, I'd like to request a pull and revise for item 5 just to update the approval date that's listed within the attached bylaws document that's in your packets. Item 5 is basically proposed bylaw amendments that pertain to the MPO's governance, the duties and responsibilities of the executive director of the MPO regarding matters of administration operation for the MPO. It essentially authorizes the executive director to take actions, including in emergency situations and the signing of grant agreements without financial obligation, reporting instructions and expenditures, and then be able to report those back to the MPO board.
Move for approval with discussion.
Okay, I have a motion for approval with discussion. Have a second? Okay. let's
Only
discuss.
thing I would like to add is just making sure that whoever that executive director is, when it relates to the calendar, as stating on here, that they get with the chairman of the BOC to make sure it does not conflict with anything or any holidays or any breaks that BOCC has. And prior to that, also getting with the members of the city so they can check their calendars before we bring it forward. That way, all those things can be worked out before we sit here and vote for it on this committee.
In terms of the, in terms of the, when the MPO board will meet.
Correct. Yeah, let's get with everybody beforehand to look at the schedules, look at the calendars, make sure it doesn't conflict with anything the cities have, or the county has.
Okay.
Prior to that.
We'll share a draft calendar.
That way, we're not having to go back and forth and look on during the meeting.
Will do.
Okay, any other questions on this item?
Good. Give this to the clerks then. This is the pull and revise agendas for the board members.
So you,
The revised information is in here for the board members. So I can just hand them over to the clerk.
who? Walk on.
Was it? You want us to look at it now, or
Are we pulling it till the next meeting?
you wanna pull that to the next meeting? Or,
No, it's just for this meeting, just an update that the date of approval for the MPO bylaw amendments is today and not November 12th. That's all.
thank you.
This is not the meeting calendar.
No, this is not the meeting calendar. This is the MPO bylaws document itself.
Okay,
We'll bring that back to you.
that's all right, that's all right. Okay, so I have a motion and a second on this item. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, let's go ahead and have the roll call vote.
Councilman Matt Murphy,
Aye.
Mr. Will Ditmar, Mayor Camille Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Aye.
Commissioner Mike Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Christina Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Aye.
and Chairman Lance Smith.
Aye, thank you. Motion passes unanimously. Our next item is the roadway functional classification. Terry, who's going to present that?
Mr. Jensen Hackett is
Okay.
online with FDOT.
Very good. Jensen, good morning.
Is he there?
Jensen, are you there?
I just made him a panelist.
Okay.
There we are. Good morning, everyone. Sorry about that. All right, Jensen Hackett again with the Department of Transportation here. I will be going over a change to the Pasco roadway classification designation for State Route 56. This change is to State Route 56 from Meadow Point Boulevard to US 301, just southwest of the city of Zephyr Hills, and that is shown in the first map that is in your packet. Currently, the classification for this portion of State Road 56 is local street. This actually occurs when the roadway is under construction and follows a new routing, not a reconstruction of an existing roadway. The default classification given during the construction phase is for a local street designation. Now that the roadway is fully constructed, we are proposing to change the roadway classification to principal arterial other due to its regional connectivity in eastern Pasco County, aligned with the existing portion of State Route 56 from State Route 54 near the Tampa Premium Outlets to Meadow Point Boulevard, as shown in the second map in your packets. The reason for the designation of other is simply to denote that this will not be a limited access facility, i.e. an interstate or a freeway. So this will need an approval by the board to change the classification of this portion of State Route 56. And as always, I can answer any questions that you may have at this time. And I also have Ken Spitz, Transportation Planning Manager, on the line, so he may potentially answer any questions you have as well.
All right, Jensen, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Jensen on this item?
Move approval.
I have a motion for approval and I have a second. Let's have the roll call vote.
Councilman Matt Murphy,
Aye.
Mr. Will Ditmar, Mayor Camille Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Aye.
Commissioner Mike Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Christina Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Aye.
and Chairman Lance Smith.
Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. Thank you, Jensen.
Thank you.
All right, our next item 7 is the ACOM Vision Zero. Who's going to take that item?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have Ms. Tina Russo online from Pasco County MPO.
Okay, Tina, it's all yours.
Well, I'm going to let Casey Kersey give you the background. Hopefully we can show you 2 videos that were part of phase 1 of our Vision Zero to give you an introduction into phase 2 that is upcoming.
Thank you, Tina. I'm Casey Kersey with AECOM. We're one of your general consultants, general planning consultants, and I also have Channing Bickford on the line, who is a task lead for me on this. With Vision Zero Phase 1, specialized outreach, COVID took its toll on our ability to do what we had hoped to do for the scope. But in reality, we got some really great benefits that we had not anticipated from COVID because of the use of all of our multi-use facilities increased so thoroughly in Pasco County. So with the enthusiasm of the MPO and staff and Tina and Tania and Lori was out there with us, we started out doing some public service announcement type efforts. We did a lot of video footage, watching behavior. We're going to show you a couple of videos, but in them, you're going to see quite a bit of my family, my husband, my kids are in it. We all practice social distancing, but it really curbed the ability to get a lot of footage with stakeholders that we would normally have included because of COVID. And so we put a video together very quickly the day we were out. I know we had with Commissioner Moore, we had him scheduled in April to interview with him. And in March, the day we were interviewing with Commissioner Starkey is the day they shut down all the restaurants. We were at the Starkey Market getting some footage. So the trails video, you will see she's in it. We were able to get her, but then they said no more, going out to facilities. And that curbed it quite a bit. So given that we were outside, the beauty of it is we could all still be outside, stay socially distanced, and get some good footage of using trails and get that word out. And this particular trails video, Tina's going to add the map to it. We've got some good ideas, and it was shown out statewide to the Gulf Coast Safe Street Summit. And so we've been really getting some great press for Pasco County. But the beauty of what we were able to do is spend a lot of time outside watching behavior. How are people interacting with our facilities, road crossings, using the buttons that they need to use? What are the patterns? And the biggest thing that I discovered was the wealth of new users. Every age, every ability are out there using those trails now. It's just fabulous to see them out there using these facilities. But it shows us that our engagement going forward for Vision 2 needs to include the stakeholders through the school board, the sheriff's office, all the players who see how people use facilities every day and can help us make the most useful outreach, tools for that. And that will be a part of going forward with Vision 02. Tina, do you want to have them play the trails video quickly?
Yes, please.
And so we can update this at any time, guys. This is the footage we were able to put together. Like I said, you're going to see my husband, my brother, my kid.
Trails have so many purposes to them. They connect you to places. They get you outside in the fresh air, and then you can exercise and you can be with friends when you're out using trails.
We're a Pasco family and we walk together.
We're real mindful in Pasco County that all the new neighborhoods need to have a trail system, and they need to have a way for the residents who want to walk out of their community or cycle out of their community to have a way to connect to a trail system.
Hi, I work for the MPO as a transportation planner, and I plan multi-use pathways.
I think our residents love the trails, and I hear about it all the time, and they do want them to be safe and safer. Soon we'll be building some of our first overpasses in the county, pedestrian overpasses, which will help a lot.
One of the reasons that I moved to Pasco County 2 years ago was for the numbers of trails, pathways that I could walk on. I'm a frequent walker. I try to walk 2 to 3 miles a day for health and fitness.
My name's Tina Russo. I work for Pasco County. I'm a cyclist and I love to ride for my health and just to be outside in the great outdoors of Florida.
The facilities that are in Pasco County. AECOM has an entire visualization department dedicated to collecting footage, making videos, so we can take any footage and manipulate it as time goes by to change the messages for us, or as we add more clips, or we want to add in more interviews and spots. So when you see a piece, know that we always have the ability to add or take away. And one of the biggest reasons we did so well this year in terms of what COVID did bring us was the chance to get that video footage. We spent a lot of time at US 19 and Ridge, and Tina notified all of the people, the FDOT, the Sheriff's Office and so forth, that we would be out there. And we took a lot of footage of just crossing US 19 and also observing behavior of the other people who are crossing throughout the day. We also were trying to really get something put together for the time change coming up next year, for specifically for school students, and it had to be under 15 seconds. Once again, we have a lot of footage with children in the dark with light, and we were trying to show how it's really hard to see you even with white clothing. So this particular piece you're going to see is very geared for younger, elementary to middle school. We had kids in as a focus group to see would this catch their attention if it came across their phone, with the ability to change it as we need to. So Tina, if they want to show that as well. And once again, this was all done right before COVID, so we haven't really put out more material. But this particular one, when they call it up, is geared for the younger group on their phones, with some music to catch their attention, things moving quickly, and just a messaging. This is a very quick messaging. Manipulate things as we need to go. So The biggest part that we're doing for you is building a library of photos, video footage, materials that we can use to create messages that you can create messages for the next 2 or 3 years. And Channing, do you want to comment on things that you observe being out there as well?
Yeah, thanks, Casey. Basically getting all of the video footage for the video library was a great opportunity to get out into the community and kind of see how people are using some of the infrastructure crossing. As Casey mentioned, Ridge and 19, seeing people kind of running to the middle island and then running across the rest of the roadway, not at the intersection, is something that we definitely want to address in the future. And then also, we got some footage of Tina crossing at Starkey Boulevard and 54, kind of showing how that trail crossing there to the Starkey Gap works. So this is some footage that we can possibly use in the future for more video spots. And I think that we got a really good understanding of some of the behavior and the usage, and we definitely saw a lot of new users out on the trail throughout this entire period. So we're looking forward to phase 2 and to continuing the outreach and really building up a lot more partnerships in the Vision Zero effort.
Any questions we can field for you?
Does anyone have any questions for Casey or any of the team members? Well, I certainly think it turned out well. I think it's a continual education process to try and limit the accidents that we do have with pedestrians and bikers. So the one question I have, are these available that we can put on our city feeds? I mean, where would we find these at, these videos and these?
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. We can get links to you, whatever Tina and Tanita direct us to, and when we send them, I can work with your staff to make sure they're available on your city websites, however you'd like to do that. And as we go forward, those are things that we can do is get to your individual cities and areas and get footage of areas that you're concerned about. And we just, COVID really kind of cut that ability to actually more or less get the actors, you know, but we certainly can.
When they're done speaking, do I just say chair?
Yes.
Chairman?
Yes.
Are we teamed up with the school board system? In the schools, I know they used to have news in the morning, and they would audio play it through the schools. Do they still, can we play it as a mass play in the mornings at the kids' schools?
I think that's an excellent idea.
Thank you.
I can answer that question. Tina Russo, active transportation planner. I actually sit on that safety school committee, and great questions by both of you, because this first task of phase 2 is what you guys are asking about, is getting with all our stakeholders, all our partners, see where we can use what we've collected already and get it out there, whether it be different jurisdictions, different audiences. That's that first task on this next phase that we're really attacking, is all those stakeholders, and use what we've gotten in phase 1 and get it out there.
With that being said, as the kids are walking to school, are all of the pathways to the schools, are they well lighted for the students to see and the cars to see the students on their pathways to school?
Again, most of those items are addressed through our safety committee, and they look at a lot of different situations, whether it be lighting, just the traffic flow coming in. And to be honest, that last video you looked at was mainly because when time changes, it changes both for the students going to school and the drivers driving to their destinations. So you went from a lighted situation to a dark situation, and unfortunately, that's when we see most of our crashes. So that's where that video actually came out, is to try to focus on those types of behavior and hopefully make people aware of the darkness that used to not be there the week before. So those are some of the processes that are part of Vision Zero, and working on them and go from there. In case you and Jenna can add to that.
Right, because I am aware of students getting on the bus prior to 6 o'clock in the morning. So if they're getting on the bus at 5:30, it's very dim still. Thank you.
I will tell you, Tina had us wear all black. We took a lot of footage with us all wearing black. crossing small roads, and you really can't see us at all, but you also can't see us in the video. So then we all changed and wore white and did the same crossings. So it's very fascinating of how to get the correct message across. And the beauty of having all of this library footage is as we're getting comments from other groups who see the fact we've finished a piece or we've created a piece, they have things they need. So we're getting more needs. We're getting people to say, you know, if you're ADA and you've got to ride the school bus, you know, so that's what's coming out of this is the discussions that people are having now. Once you show them a piece, it gets their mind thinking about how we can spread the message. Yeah.
Just a comment to add on to that. I know over on this side on East Pasco where, Casey and Tina, thank you so much for that, because obviously I'm a huge supporter of the trails and in Dade City where we continue to try to get all this connectivity to other areas. We have so many areas besides the trails, we have no sidewalks and things. So this footage too, and we have different youth groups, and I think COVID has also made us do a lot more with our social media things. So I would love to have these snippets that you have, because I think there is a lot of discussion going on, and little things like just the going on to the Commissioner Fitzpatrick's comment of the kids walking and just wearing the right clothing. And I know here on this side, we're trying to implement new ways to just get them to cross better. So there's opportunities for some discussions online to do these groups with the young people. We're trying to keep them engaged in different ways. So I think that would be some wonderful things to stimulate some discussion points. And I'd love to use that with my youth council, not mine, Dade City's Youth Council. And I know Zephyr Hills has one too. That would be a great format to start to do that, to get their viewpoints on some of the things that we can do to assist them as well.
Well, and I know we're time is essence, but Mayor, I really love what you're saying, because I've been out with that youth council before and out to the extension building, and of course in Zephyr Hills, and gotten great comments during MetroQuest. Is we can do some little workshops where we actually have them come in black clothing, the things they would normally want to be seen in school, and they can be sort of their peer, watch each other cross and see what it is. We can help them even be, it's tough to put people in videos these days without signing off forms, but we can have them from the back. We can include them in things they would be excited to see that went out on your city website. So I'd love to come out.
Yeah, definitely. Let's follow up, and because I think we can do that, and I'll reach out to Zephyr Hills as well, and certainly the other cities, but I know that would be very helpful to us at the same time of keeping the young people engaged in something that would be beneficial to everyone in the county here. Good job.
Great. Love it. Love it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you again. Thank you, Casey and Tina and Channing for that. And this is an action item, so I'm going to ask the board approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for approval of this item. Need a roll call vote.
Councilman Matt Murphy,
Aye.
Mr. Will Dittmar, Mayor Camille Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Aye.
Mayor Mike Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Christina Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Aye.
and Chairman Lance Smith.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, everyone. Item 8, we've already taken care of, which was the election.
Mr. Chairman.
What's that?
Mr. Chairman.
Are there some items in there?
Yes, there are some of the selections for the group memberships that we.
Right. And that is important that we look at that, because I know sometimes I have trouble with my representatives attending, so, and people's schedules change, and also, you have the list, we have the list in here to go over, don't we?
Yeah.
Do you want to speak to it? You can speak to it.
So as the appointed, as the new chairman, Mr. Smith, you are now the representative of the Mpoac and the Mpoac and the CCC.
Okay, and I will say this, that my work has gotten me running more, so I'm gonna get with Mayor Hernandez to help me out with.
Right, and then Mayor Hernandez is the alternate for you with CCC and Mpoac. So those are once a quarter, so you'll be able to alternate between the two of you. So we're talking about 4 meetings a year.
Sure.
So we should be able to figure that out. And then moving forward, we have the TDLCB, which currently is held by Commissioner Oakley. Would you like to go for another term, Commissioner Oakley, or we can, it's, okay. It's up to you. You can go, we can have a vote, or we stop, it's still an action item, but you know what I mean? We can go. And then we have, the next group we have is the transportation management area. We need 3 representatives and 1 alternate. And previously, it was Commissioner Mariano, Commissioner Starkey, Commissioner Wells, and the alternate was Commissioner Moore.
Is that TMA?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I do feel that it'd be great to add somebody from a city to the TMA. And I say that because if you look at the makeup of the TMA from the other counties, they do all include other MPO members besides county commissioners, including members of city councils, as well as I think some of the other MPOs actually have additional staff as well that attends the TMA. So whether it be somebody from the city, I think it'd be great if somebody's willing from a city because it gives a different perspective of a county commissioner, as well as possibly a staff person included in that too.
Matt, you interested?
Yeah, I'll be glad to do that.
No? Cool. So,
Oh, that'd be great.
So you have 2, Mr. Chairman. So you have Commissioner Wells' seat on the TMA that needs to be filled, and then you have the alternate that needs to be filled as well. As long as
We need three designations and then 1 alternate.
You currently have Commissioner Starkey, Commissioner Mariano, Commissioner Wells, which is no longer a commissioner, and then you have me as an alternate.
So do you want to keep that rotation?
I would think, no,
Okay.
I'm good.
You want off.
It doesn't fit on the Fridays too, because I do have other committees that meet on Fridays.
Okay, that's no problem.
Is Matt Murphy as part of that one of those 3, or is that in
He'd be,
addition to?
if he's okay, be one of the 3
Be one of the 3?
actual members. And then we need an alternate as well.
Right.
Which could be a commissioner, or somebody from the city, or it could be somebody from staff.
Is Commissioner Starkey on? Because I know she does like to attend.
She's not on. No.
She's not on, okay.
Commissioner Mariano's on, so he can.
Is he on?
wants to stay, and then I'm sure Commissioner Starkey wants to be on.
I think she does too.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I think Commissioner Stark and I still want to stay on that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Mariano. So we have Commissioner Starkey, Commissioner Mariano, and then we have Councilman Matt Murphy, and then we need an alternate.
We should see an alternate. Commissioner Fitzpatrick, would you like to be our alternate?
Sure, yes.
We weren't going to leave you out.
We did not officially do a roll call vote for Commissioner Oakley's TDLCB.
Can we do all of them at the same roll call vote?
Well, it's a designation for the TMA. It's not, you guys just appoint each other, and then the TDLCB is actually a roll call vote.
Okay, I got you. So do we have all the item?
Yes, we are now filled. We are completely, the MPO is completely filled.
Okay, very good. So let's have a roll call vote on Commissioner Oakley for the, what is it? TDLCB.
Yeah, we did not do a motion.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
I'm sorry.
Councilman Matt Murphy,
Aye.
Mayor Scott, oh my goodness. Oh boy.
Will Dittmer.
Yep, thank you. Will Dittmar. Mayor Camille Hernandez.
Aye.
Commissioner Ron Oakley.
Aye.
Commissioner Mike Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Catherine. Commissioner Christina Fitzpatrick.
Aye.
Commissioner Jack Mariano.
Aye, sorry about that.
And Chairman Lance Smith.
Aye. Thank you. The motion passes. Which one? Oh, the TMA. And now, is this the point we need to do the CAC and the other?
The TMA is appointments where you don't have to vote on those.
But we do not have to vote on it?
For the record, I guess.
Okay. So do we want to read for the record those
Members of those. So for the TMA, Mr. Murphy is a regular attendee. Mr. Mariano is a regular attendee. Commissioner Mariano and Commissioner Starkey are regular attendees. And Commissioner Fitzpatrick is an alternate.
Okay. Okay. And that is all with that item, right? Keep me straight.
Yes.
All right. Now we're down to item 9. Who's going to handle that one?
Mr. Chairman, item 9 is the Federal Transit Administration Public Transportation Safety Performance Target for 2020, and that will be presented by Mr. Kurt Scheibel, Director of PCPT, who's online.
Good morning, all. Kurt Scheibel, Director of Pasco County Public Transportation. As part of the Fixing America's Surface Transportation Act, or the FAST Act, PCPT and all transit agencies had to come up with a program called the Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan. The PTASP required Pasco County Public Transportation to come up with public transportation safety performance targets. These numbers have to be reported to you, and you will be voting on whether these numbers are acceptable or not, or if you would like to make any changes. We've also coordinated this through the Vision Zero program through the FDOT, and these are based on current rates, and we're looking at a gradual reduction of our rates over the next 5 to 10 years. And what I'm bringing forward to you is those rates. If there's any questions on that, I'll be glad to talk to you about those. Just so you understand, also, some of those rates, the system reliability failures, deals with maintenance issues that could cause a safety hazard. And I'll take any questions at this time.
All right. Thank you, Kurt. Does anybody have any questions for him at this time? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for approval. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Matt Murphy,
Aye.
Mr. Will Dittmar, Mayor Camille Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Ron Oakley, Commissioner Mike Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Christina Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Aye.
and Chairman Lance Smith.
Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. Thank you, Kurt. All right. And I'm getting some feedback. On to item 10. Terry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Terry Pitos, Acting MPO Executive Director. Number 10 is a consultant task order with AECOM to support for the Unified Planning Work Program, including in-house staff and minor update to the public participation plan. This item is essentially a staff augmentation request for AECOM to help the MPO move through a number of projects in the transition period that we currently find ourselves, as some MPO employees have moved on to other opportunities and or retired. The task order is to complete work elements identified in the Unified Planning Work Program, and also to do a minor update to the public participation plan that will reflect some of the innovative virtual and hybrid virtual activities we've been doing these last couple of months due to COVID-19. And the amount is not to exceed $48,892.
Move approval.
Second.
Have a motion for approval in a second. I have a roll call vote.
Councilman Matt Murphy,
Aye.
Mr. Will Dittmar, Mayor Camille Hernandez, Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Aye.
Commissioner Mike Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Christina Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Aye.
and Chairman Lance Smith.
Aye. Motion passed. Thank you. All right. Item 11, the Citizens Advisory Committee. Terry?
Mr. Chairman, this is a request by the MPO to approve Mr. Ian Norris to be the Citizen Advisory Committee District 3 appointee.
Move approval. Second. Have a motion and a second for approval. May I have the roll call vote, please?
Councilman Matt Murphy,
Aye.
Mr. Will Dittmar, Mayor Camille Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Aye.
Commissioner Mike Moore, Commissioner Christina Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Aye.
and Chairman Lance Smith.
Aye. Thank you. The motion passes. Okay. Moving on to item 12, we have at-large candidates for the CAC.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a request from the MPO to approve Mr. Mark Sophia and Lami Popula to fill the at-large CAC member vacancies.
Mr. Chairman, question.
Yes.
Thanks. I see an address for Popula. I don't see an address for Sophia. Do we know where Mr. Sophia resides?
Yes, we do. I think staff is going to check that really quick.
And while you're looking that up, just for Commissioner Fitzpatrick's behalf, District 4, I think if somebody hasn't, make sure you somebody get with Commissioner Fitzpatrick on the appointments so she's aware of who her appointment is, as well as when her appointment is up. So she can obviously in the future go.
You went muted. Okay.
Mark Sophia's address for the record is 5722 Biscayne Court, Newport Richey, Florida.
And again, just one more question. For those two, for Popula and Sophia, were those requested or suggested by an MPO member that sits on this board?
The at-large members can be requested by the CAC. The appointments have to be by the MPO board per the bylaws.
So I guess
of the
that's a
CAC.
question for this MPO board and anybody that's virtually. Does anybody know these two people? I don't have a resume in the packet, and I want to see if the commissioners requested or one of the cities requested them to be a part of this. I mean, if Commissioner Mariano or Commissioner Fitzpatrick's or the Starkey's not on here, since these people reside on the west side, are either of you familiar with these two people?
Mr. Chairman, Jack Mariano, I am not familiar with either one, did not make the recommendation.
I don't believe I made the recommendation.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry,
So the
Commissioner Moore, you had mentioned that they just fill me in on when my appointments are due. I know they were not up as of this point.
Or not.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure the MPO obviously detailed you on when that were to happen, so you would obviously be a part of that decision because it is your decision. So.
Thank you.
Just a comment too, I agree with you. I know in the past, I think it's important if we don't have clarity on where these names are, it'd be nice to get some information, not only, well, we have the addresses, but how they came to be, or a resume or something,
Okay.
just a little background. And besides that, and then I noticed for Port Richey, I know we've had extensive discussions in the past about really trying to get, I see vacancies here, vacant on, I think is it Port Richey? Who am I looking at? One of them, Port Richey or Newport Richey, City of Port Richey has 2 vacant spots, right? Is that what I'm reading on here? Is this the current list?
Right.
I know we've talked about that first spot filled because it is so important, and I would encourage the cities, Mr. Murphy, and maybe you've got one there, but reach out to Port Richey and let them know it's important. We try to engage them and get their input, so to have at least one of those blocks filled, if not both.
So, Port Richey, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Port Richey appointed someone Tuesday night at their council
Did
meeting.
they? Okay.
Well, to this board again. And can I bring Andy up real quick? Because he actually watched that meeting. He watches all the meetings for me. Especially he pays special attention to Newport Richey. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, that's why. Yeah, exactly. For the clerk's office, for the record, Andy Taylor, legislative aide to Commissioner Moore, Mayor Hernandez. I did watch the City of Port Richey meeting this week. Vice Mayor Dittmer is on this meeting on behalf of the mayor. The mayor was not able to make it. They did appoint someone to their CAC.
So somebody was appointed.
Yes, and I'm apologize. I do not remember her name. I'm sorry. Hold on. I can't.
We can hear somebody talking there, so make sure to mute your mic, please.
I think I see what happened over in Newport Richey just now. So anyway, just to finish my thought, Mayor, I do not remember that person's name, but Mayor Tremblay did appoint someone to the MPO Citizens Advisory Committee on Tuesday evening, and
But one of the blocks is filled.
yes, correct. I do not believe they did the alternate, but they did appoint one person to that seat.
So maybe everybody else in the world's mics can be muted except for the room now.
I've got a lot of feedback.
So, Mr. Chairman, just to follow up on Mayor Hernandez's discussion that I brought forward a second ago, my opinion, I think this item should be continued to appoint those two people until we have resumes in front of us and we know who those people actually are, since they were not appointed by, usually if it's appointed by a member here, and it's their suggestion, we usually obviously go forward with that, but we have nothing in front of us, no resume, no background, not a letter why they want to join this. And not saying they're probably great people, I'm sure they are, but at the same time, we need to know who they are.
Sure. So you just need a little bit more information on them, resumes.
I love resumes and some details on why they want to become part of this.
Okay.
Because what we're not looking for, I'm making a general statement here, we're just not looking for resume builders, for people to just throw something in their resume. We want people to always participate and do it for the right reasons. Again, not saying these people aren't, because I don't know who they are, but it's in the board's best interest to have that. So I'll make a motion to continue this item.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to continue. Any further discussion? Seeing none, let's have the roll call vote, please.
Councilman Matt Murphy,
Aye.
Mr. Will Dittmar, Mayor Camille Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Ron Oakley,
Aye.
Commissioner Mike Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Christina Fitzpatrick, Commissioner Jack Mariano,
Aye.
and Chairman Lance Smith.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, and that was item 12. So we're to, and I thought we're at the item on the agenda, Pasco County Public Transportation, PCPT. Kurt, are you there?
Yes, I am, sir. Once again, Kurt Scheibel, Pasco County Public Transportation. Some good news for the commission is that yesterday we finalized a contract with a new paratransit software company called EcoLane. The big thing I have to bring to the board is the outstanding customer service applications that the program brings to Pasco County. Specifically, the ability to see where the bus is while it's coming to get you. So you can look on your cell phone, just like on Uber and Grubhub and so forth, see where the bus is to come pick you up. There's a whole bunch of other things, but that's going to be the big one. It's going to require a lot of effort to provide good training and opportunities for individuals to learn how to use the system. So that's going to be one of our big challenges right now. We're also repicking up our triennial review that was delayed last year from the, from COVID. So we're in the process of answering the questions, and we'll be having a meeting in January to cover the FTA's triennial review. The other thing that's going on is, of course, we're reaching into budget season. We have a lot of challenges going forward with our budgets that we're looking at, and we're moving forward on that. Other than that, hope we all have a happy holidays, and I'll take any questions at this time.
Thank you, Kurt. Does anybody have any questions for Kurt?
Mr. Chairman, Jack Mariano.
Yes, Jack.
Kurt, as you mentioned your budget, I look behind you and I see the picture of looks like 6 or 7 buses that are unwrapped. What's the status on wrapping the rest of the buses we have out there that are unwrapped, and how many are there?
Sir, that picture is from the when they first were delivered, literally the day of. I would say probably almost all of those are on the wrapping contract. I worked with our advertiser, Amanda, at Blackjack Media, and we got almost all of those on there. I'm not sure, I think one was not on there just because we had other ones already wrapped on there, if you can understand what I'm saying. But I believe majority of those are already wrapped, but this was just literally the day they were delivered.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, I knew you had done a lot of them, but I didn't know what the status was, so thank you very much.
I believe 2 of them are also the hub buses, if you're familiar with that contract.
Yes, sir. It was a nice presentation. Thanks for working with them to get the word out.
All right, do we have any, thank you, Commissioner Mariano. Do we have any other questions for Kurt? Thank you, Kurt. We're going to move on to item 13, which is the FDOT Safe Trip.
Mr. Chairman, item 13 will be presented by Ms. Margaret Kublings who is the FDOT Safety Engineer. Should be online.
Okay. Margaret, are you there?
We're going to check with the staff.
Under FDOT District 7. You have to make the FDOT District 7 make them a panel. Yep, that's it.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Margaret, is that you?
Yes, this is Margaret Kubelin. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me?
We can.
Okay, do we have the video for the presentation up? I don't see it on the screen here. There we go. Thank you. Okay, I am Margaret Kubelin, and I am the program engineer for Safe Trip, and I really appreciate your time today. Next slide, please. Just a few items relative to the Tampa Bay Next program is that in September, we received and crossed a major milestone in association with the reconstruction of the West Shore Interchange, and that was that we met and we have the approval from Federal Highways. And the reason why that's so important is that the whole application was under evaluation for several years, a lot of back and forth, and to meet that basically is giving us the approval to go under construction. So that was a very significant milestone for us to meet. And then additionally, in association with TB Next, Howard Franklin Bridge, that contract is underway, signed, and we're actually at 90% plans already. Next phase is that we'll be seeing the aesthetics rolling out and feedback coming back. So we're in good shape and right on schedule when it comes to the Howard Franklin Bridge. Next, please. So we had approval, or we do have approval, for the $1.4 billion funding for the West Shore Interchange project. As far as the most information, most current, our original schedule was fiscal year 24 for signing of documentation. At this point, we're under discussion as far as when that schedule may change, but that is still part of the MPO's contribution or in that discussion. But the limits of the project go from the Howard Franklin Bridge on the west side, and that extends over to Hillsborough River. So that's both sections 4 and 5 of TB Next. And then also it has the stem, that's what we refer to, State Road 60, and it goes up to Memorial. Next, please. So why Safe Trip? I'll explain what Safe Trip is in a little bit more, but it is, we need to have a comprehensive plan in order to manage all the traffic, because some of the constraints is that we have to build this under traffic. So we need to still be able to manage traffic while we're under construction. In general, the plan is to build the outside and then work towards the inside, but it's about a 7-year project. And so it's going to take a while, and there's a lot of vehicles that we have to accommodate, whether they're just passenger cars. We're discussing bicycle access, still maintaining pedestrian safety as well. And Safe Trip is is the transportation management plan that's going to be the overarching document. Next, please. So a transportation management plan is what's required from Federal Highway Administration for a project of this magnitude. And the true purpose of this is to develop a transportation plan that it addresses all the elements in association with maintaining safety and mobility for everyone that's traveling in and around the construction zone. And so the way we encompassed all this, and we've structured and outlined it, is putting safety first, and then we have our traffic management, we have our regional demand management, we have innovation, and we have public engagement. So let me talk a little bit about each one of those. Next, please. So we always start off with a vision when we do any kind of plan, and we want to know this is our guidepost on what we plan to move forward with. So we want to be well-planned and innovative. So we want to really leverage technology and the information that's out there. And that's where the innovation really comes in. When we get to the I, I'll talk about that a little bit more. Safety and reliability. So safety, we are using that vision that's consistent with Vision Zero, or zero fatalities, or driving down fatalities. The way I like to describe it is, when it comes to safety, we recognize that there will be crashes, but we want anyone that's involved in a crash to be able to walk away, or they'll fully heal. When it comes to reliability, we recognize that, let's say that right now it takes you 20 minutes to get to the airport, but we want to make sure that we project the expectation that once we go under construction, you need to plan on it's going to take you 40 minutes. Whatever that number is, we don't know yet. We haven't run the analyses, but we want to make sure that we're getting information out to the public so they're able to make those decisions that suit their personal needs. And that's the advantage of being in this real-time condition and being in a data-rich environment right now, is how quickly can we push out accurate information so people can make those decisions for themselves. And next, please. The elements that we're addressing are the traffic management, and that's comprised of, we focus right now a lot about the temporary traffic control plans. We have some ramps that we're going to have to shut down at different phases, because I think we're up to 6 or 7 phases as we look at it in the big picture. But we want to understand that, make sure that we aren't shutting down 2 ramps at the same time. We want to make sure that we have maximum mobility during construction. And then we also recognize that if we close a ramp, it's going to have an impact on somewhere else in a different location within the transportation network. When it comes to regional demand management, it's not just our public transit, but it also is addressing what's happening with van pool and carpool, or are we able to complete some of the bicycle network? So you can get in a 3-mile or a 5-mile radius, could people actually have a viable quality choice in being able to ride their bike to work, so to speak. When it comes to innovation, we're looking at work zone data exchange and establishing a regional data platform. This is getting to the quality of the data, so it's out, and then vendors like Waze and Google, they'll be able to pull the information from our data-rich environment and then project it out with accuracy and the most current information. And public engagement, it's not just about us projecting information, but it's also making sure that we have the systems so we can receive the feedback. And that's how we're going to have a very robust communication system. Next, please. So a little bit more detail about each one of these. This is a network that we're showing. So the bright yellow line is 275. And then all the other colors that you have in there, those are not just state routes, but those are also local streets that we're incorporating into our evaluation on how we're going to keep people moving throughout the region. You'll see that we aren't just addressing what's in Hillsborough, but we're also addressing what's in Pinellas. And we are in consideration of what's happening north of here as well. And we are looking at putting instrumentation on some of these other roadways, or instrumentation such as putting units to get data that actually work with connected vehicles. But also we have cameras out there, and we'll have dynamic message signs so we can keep our drivers informed and we understand what's going on, because we'll be able to make changes in the traffic signal system to help keep people moving. Next, please. So in our regional demand management, we've had several conversations with like PSTA and HART on the transit side. We've also been working with major employers where we have fresh new origin destination information. So we're looking for concentrations of residents that are coming into West Shore, but not just as people are commuting to work, but we're also looking at who's passing through the interchange. And we're really trying to understand, what are the options and what are the most viable solutions to help manage the traffic as it comes through. Work remotely, that it's kind of interesting here within this climate now, because for decades, and I've been in this industry for decades, we used to always talk about telecommuting. If people would just telecommute 2 days a week, how much difference it would make in our transportation system. And yet now, and people were resistant to it, but now telecommuting is so readily available, which is really exciting in the world of transportation and transportation planning. Next, please. So in the innovation side, we are looking at, I mentioned the data platform, it's actually part of our Smart Cities Alliance initiative. And so under Safe Trip, it became real because we had this project coming up, and the need to have all this in place before we go into construction is very strong. Another innovation that we're working on is deploying a smart work zone. So the smart work zone is set up in a method, again, real time, where we have the sensors on the right-hand side of the graphic here. We have a lot of sensors right there at the work zone, and we understand the speed of the traffic as it's approaching. And so if it's a free flow, we're telling people 1 mile ahead, maybe even 2 miles ahead, is like, okay, this is the condition that you're going to experience as you get closer. So we just warn them that there's road work if people are still moving at 55 miles an hour. But as the traffic slows down, we start telling them it's like, okay, now there's slow traffic, use all lanes, or there's stop traffic ahead if it drops lower than 20. So this is an automated program, and we don't have any operators that have to touch it. And so this is as we establish this, it's actually giving the drivers real-time information and the most accurate information instead of us doing it manually. And then the smart work zone is somewhat of a new concept. And so if you go to the next slide, I'd like to show you a quick video about it. while that's getting pulled up, I mean, it might be interesting that even just down in Pinellas County, there was a public service announcement, or it was an article, I think, out of the Tampa Bay Times, that they talked about the zipper merge going effective on one of their roadways. And if it doesn't play, that's fine. You can always just go on Google and look it up. There's several different explanations and videos that show how the zipper merge works. But it's a shift in approach. A lot of people think that you need to move over sooner, but as soon as you have a breakdown.
What is a zipper merge? A lane is closed in a freeway construction zone. There are signs and arrow panels well ahead of the closure to let motorists know they need to move to an open lane. Traditionally, drivers merge as soon as it is safe to do so. Use a traditional merge when traffic volumes are low and cars are moving at highway speeds. When traffic is heavy, that one lane can back up fast. Sudden dangerous stops, significant delays, and angry motorists. When traffic backs up, there's a better way to merge. A zipper merge, also called a late merge, has motorists stay in their lanes until they reach the merge. There, each driver takes turns, alternating one lane of traffic, then the other, just like a zipper. Research has shown that this reduces backups by as much as 40%.
Margaret, that sounded like it worked really good.
I know, it does. If we go to the next slide. You have to be nimble when it comes to technology. I've presented this so many times, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. If we were on Teams, I'd know exactly how to fix it. Are we going back to the slide presentation? It's just a few more minutes. Because as you can see, this is a very comprehensive plan.
I'll hit that again.
And so at the beginning, excuse me. It is a very comprehensive plan that we're developing. We have a lot of techniques that we've identified, and okay, I see that we're back up. That's great. Okay, so the P in Safe Trip, so we've covered the TRIP. So in the P in Safe Trip is about public engagement. And as I mentioned, we are looking at not just projecting information, but we're also establishing the conduits where we can pull information in and take the feedback and develop the plan in a way that meets other people's needs. We need that kind of input. Right now, within this plan, we have a lot of strategies that we have on the table, and as we move forward, we'll find which ones will actually work and be extremely beneficial for the overall program. Let me see what's next on there. Okay, so we've already had two meetings with our community advisory committee, or task force. One more, please. Or maybe two, actually. So our meetings right now are obviously virtual. So with changes in the next year or so, we will get more involved. We have a lot of programs that are be going on over the next 2 years of just establishing some programs, communication, and then other projects, and we're looking at what we can deploy out of this program as we work towards the implementation. Next, please. This is our, a representation of the members of our task force. We've already had 2 meetings, and we'll have another one come in January. And I know that you're involved in and engaged and have representation on at least a couple of these programs or these organizations. And so we're taking input, and we're welcome. We're happy to do any kind of presentation in order to get the information out so you're aware that this program is occurring. Next, please. So one of the first things that we did is do some outreach. This isn't the first very large project. First, right up in the middle, you can see that we reached across the state over to District 5 and talked about I-4 Ultimate and found some lessons learned from them. Probably the most important was how we established the documentation with the contractor and made this a live document with performance metrics that are tied to those construction contracts. When it comes to, let's say, the Missouri DOT, they helped us understand the circle and the value of pre-establishing any kind of instrumentation on the local surface streets, and then how to draw those lines and work towards the influence. On I-66 in Virginia, they talked about the real-time information and how important it is to be able to have all the sensors out there and then have quality information that's being pushed out to the drivers. So they know how to make decisions for themselves. And then in the zoo interchange, they were about the pre-planning and making sure that we engage with all the partners within the region. So they have a say-so. They have an understanding of what's happening and how that might impact their constituents or their organization, their employees. And that's what our goal is right now. We're establishing that. The next, we're going to wrap up, go straight into some scheduling here. And so we're in the process of developing the plan. By January, we'll have a strong draft. And then before the summer, we'll have a really good document. We'll probably let it rest a little bit, but that doesn't mean that we're going to sit on our heels. We're already looking at ways to identify projects to go through implementation, especially on the instrumentation. That's very important to us, so we have a data-rich environment, and we're going to be able to monitor what's going on. We also have some pilot projects going on, like with the Smart Work Zone. Let's see, and if you pop through the next slide, if you can get there. As I mentioned early in the presentation, as far as when the reconstruction begins, that's still under discussion, but the recommendations right now is just another year out or so. And despite all that, what we're doing within Safe Trip is absolutely necessary, because what we're showing in our strategies, they need to be implemented before we even go to construction. So we're going to have this document, it's on schedule, and we'll be sharing it as we move forward. So does anyone have any questions that I could help address?
Does anyone have any questions for Margaret? Margaret, we certainly appreciate your time and the information you gave us today.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Anytime.
Okay, thank you. And it shows as this item needs approval, is that correct? It wasn't just a presentation?
I think it's just a presentation, Mr. Chairman.
That's what I thought it was. Okay, very good. Thank you. Then we have 2 other just items of note. Do you want to present those, Terry?
Sure. I'll introduce Tania Gorman to talk about the Mpoac Weekend Institute.
So the Metropolitan Planning Organization Advisory Committee is hosting its annual training for the elected officials. It's done yearly. I know on our MPO, we have 2 newly elected officials that I think will be taking advantage of this upcoming event. Everyone is welcome. I know a few of you have done this event quite a few times. It's very beneficial. Of course, it'll be done virtually this year. It'll be done in the springtime. And it'll be I believe it's a Friday and a Saturday. It's 8 hours long, of course, with breaks in between, but they would like us to register, get your credentialing put through, and then they'll provide all the information as far as the dates and the time and the virtual component of it. Of course, the MPO under the UPWP has an allotted budget, so it will be paid for through the MPO. Once we have established which attendees are going, please just get with myself or Lori Shadiger, and we will get you enrolled and ready to go. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Tanaya. And I can say that I attended, I think Mary Hernandez attended, and it's really a good program because it's a lot of information that we have, and that's very helpful in trying to decipher it. So thank you. And do take advantage of it.
I just had one thing. I'm sorry I don't want to hold anybody up. We had discussed previously at the commission meeting some frustrations I was having and some of our mutual constituents were having and businesses were having with the diverging diamond and the progress was being made. So just for the record, I wanted to state that I did meet with the contractor, as well as I also sat in on a meeting with Secretary Gwynn, his staff, as well as the contractor last Friday. And I am happy to say that if you drive through that intersection at this time, you will see there are a number of crews out there. Things are moving forward. And after those discussions and phone calls, I feel confident that they are progressing in a positive manner. And hopefully we'll see, and I feel we will, see that get somewhat back on track so that it will be completed by the end of next year, before the end of next year. So again, I felt good about the conversations I had. I felt good about the meeting I sat in and what FDOT as well as the contractor are doing to move that forward and get it back on track. So I did want to state that, for the record, because I know a lot of people are paying attention to that. So we'll keep in contact and make sure things keep going smooth, but I do appreciate the contractor as well as FDOT, participating in those conversations.
I think we've made him aware that we need to move forward. He was getting way behind on jobs. We actually have 2 other jobs that he's doing for the county. One of them's there at Island and 54 on that intersection, and that's why it's been held up also, same part of the same slowdown. So hopefully that'll all get moved forward.
Yep, so definitely positive. So welcome, Councilman Murphy. Great to see you.
Thank you.
And welcome, obviously, Commissioner Fitzpatrick to the MPO board.
Okay. Mayor Hernandez.
Just a couple of comments while I have everybody sort of here virtually. It was brought to my attention yesterday, Tanya, that the roundabout at St. Joe and Meridian was pushed back like 3 years, I was told, or to 20, significantly pulled back from what we had anticipated and after the county turnover. And that has several of us, at least in Dade City, and I'm not sure Mr. Commissioner Oakley is aware of that, but we kind of sat back when other roundabouts, not sat back, but we were engaged. And I know this is a county effort here. Everybody, we have limited resources, but we saw the one at Trilby. I know Pompanic's been talked about, and when there was a lot of shifting. I did receive a message yesterday, and I think it came by way of you to one of the city staff that that was moved back again, and that we're very concerned. There's a lot of annexations going on. St. Joe Road, I know the city has just annexed things. There's a tremendous amount of development going on. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, this is cool. They're going to come down. And we call it our malfunction junction. And to hear that it's been moved back, this discussion goes back several years with FDOT as well, when we were building the Hardy Trail. And we had to, I think there was about a $400,000 price tag that we took on ourselves. And part of that was, okay, we know certain other things were going to move along. So this news came late yesterday to me, so I haven't had a chance to engage with y'all, but the city's worried that if that's the time frame, for the reasons that, one, it's after the county, the handover, and also because of all the developments that's anticipated to start happening next year that has already been approved by the city.
I'll make a call on that project to see where they stand on that.
Okay,
be
so
sure.
again, I have not, and I apologize, I know I have not had a chance to talk to MPO staff, but that, even on my way over here, is not going over well.
Well, we were gonna, well, Terry's gonna make an announcement about the tentative work program, and that's gonna be a discussion within the tentative work program workshop on January 14th, and Terry's gonna provide an update on that discussion momentarily.
Okay, and one other thing, if I may, fairly quickly, and I apologize because I know it's getting late. Also, Thomas Jefferson Road, this is not something that we have talked about here on any of our things, but you know all the development that's happening across from the high school. There's lots of stuff happening. Excited about that. There's a lot of concern about coming out onto State Road 52. But Thomas Jefferson Road, which is a county road, is a dirt road now. We need to somehow have a conversation. I'm not even sure the process here. It's not a city road, but we've got all this big development that's happening, hundreds of homes that are in the Abbey Glen and the Swanee Lakeside, all that area that's happening. And all of those school children and cars are coming, if you have a chance to look at it. Not a good scene for us. And given all of the nice, good development that's happening there, we really need to come up with some kind of plan that the city or the county, we don't have the money in our budget to, it's not our road. Yes, we have all that development. We keep talking about it, and our newest commissioners that have come on to the city, it's been talked about quite a bit at our meetings. And so if you can just either let me know the process, how we can at least have a discussion, or how we can try to get that paved. But it's sad. It's sad with all the things that are happening there and all of the wonderful, the good development and construction, that road is there. And it's not we talk about safety, the school children that are walking up and down that road, we've got to do something. I don't know how to do that.
Mr. Chairman, question. So is the development within the county, or is it within the city limits?
The development is within the city. It's a city project, but it's a county. My understanding is what I've been told, it's a county. Thomas Jefferson is a county road.
Okay.
That's what I've been told.
Okay, but the city, I'm just asking, but the city allowed the development to happen.
So
I mean-
I'm bringing it up here because, one, I've been asked by our commission to bring it up. Two, we don't have, we're not rolling in the dough, as they say. We hope
Right.
that soon this scenario will change. We're concerned about it. We spend a lot of time here talking about safety, and not only of people, we're encouraging walking outside. So I don't know how to solve this other than we, the city, do not, yes, we did approve it. Yes, we understand it. But it's, if there's some way that we can work together to try and to see if we can make this a better place.
Now? I mean, you talked with someone about that road with the county before?
I believe they have, and a while back, and hasn't again. So I'm the messenger from a meeting just happened a few days ago to bring it up again here at the MPO to see if we can at least have the
Where's
conversation.
that road come out of?
I can't hide it.
Where's the road come out of? Where's the road exactly?
The road is coming right out to the State Road 50, right across from the high school. State Road 52 there by that, what used to be,
Adair? Or so,
It's a little
where the
bit-
Social Security, that road there, is that
no, before that, where the Domino's Pizza and that.
back
little
in the
strip
edge of
plaza.
the curve there,
Yeah.
before you get to the high school?
Right,
on
and
the
there used to be
right
a,
there?
yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, we talk about it a lot, and yes, Commissioner Moore, we approved it, but it's,
So that development's already fully built, or is it built
no,
out?
it's being, it is all happening right now. It's all cleared. it's
Most of
happening.
our roads are improved by the developers.
Yeah, that's how we typically do that.
And
with
this
us.
one-
So you might have to go back to just a suggestion and have a conversation with that developer, Because that's, again, like Commissioner Oakley just stated, if there's going to be that immediate impact on a road, say a dirt road, a non-collector type of road and stuff, we obviously, there are many different things that we do as a county to make sure that road is paid for essentially by the developer, or it's passed on to the residents that are moving in there, some type of
Impact fees,
impact fees and things like that. Yeah, so the county, we don't go in and we never pay for dirt roads to be improved. We'll maintain those dirt roads. We go through this all the time. And what typically happens in Commissioner Oakley, we have to go with PVAS, which basically means that the residents that live along that road are the ones that actually end up paying for it. The county does not pay for that. Unless it's Terry, jump into collector arterial,
Right. It's mainly the collectors and the arterials that the
That's the real
county
problem,
deals with.
you know? So we don't have, yeah,
We don't have the funds
we don't
to
have
actually
it
pay
either.
for it.
So we already make our own residents do a PVAS for those dirt roads to improve them. But they're not gonna, these people aren't gonna wanna pay for a dirt road because they're not the ones that are, they're impacted, but they're not ones that are causing the impact, right? So I just wanna be upfront and honest. I mean,
No, and we keep going round and round and round, and it keeps coming up, and and until I don't see it happening in the city's budget for many years to come, and unfortunately, I hate to see something.
I think maybe having that discussion in the future with the city manager, when you're doing these developments, is look at the road impacts and figure out, what type of impact fees you need to happen. There's other types of fees that developers do all the time.
Correct.
And it's, to be honest with you, developers really not paying for it. It's yeah, rather, that's per home and stuff. So just something to think about in the future, because even if it's, whether it be a city or county road, still somebody's got to pay for it.
No, I understood.
But I think that might be a good discussion to have, Terry, with their city manager too, that's look at our programs and how we do that when it comes to these developments, to think ahead.
Yes, I can reach out to Dade City.
Knows that process, so.
Well, Melanie should. Yeah, Melanie very much should know that process.
And that
With
planning,
the county
so-
for a long time.
She understands how that works.
Yeah.
All right, well, those are the two. And just lastly, I don't know, way before COVID, there was studies being done to connect our latest part of the Hardy Trail, the northern piece of the Hardy Trail that comes out of Lock Street. There was a lot of talk and planning to connect it to the Withlacoochee Trailhead. What people have asked, what's happened to that? We did all sorts of things here, open houses as well as at the city. Do you know? I haven't had a chance to talk to you, Commissioner Oakland, I'm sorry, but what is the status of that? Is that on hold? Is there a decision? There were three scenarios that had been boiled down, and
I can ask if Tina Russo heard the question, because I think she's our bike ped planner. She'll be able to provide some information.
yeah, if we can, not necessarily today, but if you get back.
Well, she's online, so.
Oh, she's there.
Mayor Wilson and Sam Bennett's the project manager for that project, and he gave us an in-depth detailed about what's going on with that project at our Bpac. I'll have him provide you that same information to let you know. We've hired a contractor for construction, and that's the phase we're at now, but I can give you a little bit, he can provide the most detailed and accurate information to you.
If you could do that, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, Jack Mariano?
Yes, Jack.
Hey, I'd just like to say, Commissioner, Councilman Hernandez, working with the developers is sometimes a great opportunity. I mean, we have impact fees in place, which does help. But I was going to bring up, so Tina maybe can comment on it. The Sea Pines development has got some stormwater issues up there. We've also got a trail we want to go put up all the way to Sunwest Park. And that was a discussion, I guess, came up on Bpac. There's an opportunity, and Venkat's already familiar with it. He's always going to work with the developer, but it might be good for Terry to have you involved, maybe Tina involved, and meet with the developer as well, because they may be able to build the bike path we want to go put in, at least part of it on their property, and get the rest of it lined up. So there is an opportunity there to work with that developer coming up.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Mariano. And then Terry, I know that I didn't go over item 15, the MPO tentative work program.
Sure, yes. So the MPO is working with FDOT. We'd like to set up a all-virtual workshop for the MPO board on January the 14th for FDOT to present a review of the Pasco projects and the tentative work program, and be able to have a discussion with the MPO board, collect comments, et cetera. There's no voting that will take place at the workshop, so that enables everyone to be able to participate virtually.
Okay, and that was January 14th?
That would have been
Correct.
a meeting day.
That was our typical meeting date, correct?
That would have been a typical meeting day, but as you know, the MPO has moved to every 2 months.
Okay.
Regular meetings.
Okay, so we, and you'll send us the links and information for all that, correct?
Yes, we will be preparing all that for you and sending all the information needed so that you can participate at the workshop.
Terry?
Yes.
Terry, this is Commissioner Starkey.
Yes, Commissioner.
I'm looking at my calendar, and Commissioner Oakley and I have a Tampa Bay Water Board board workshop from 9:30 to 11 on the 14th. We need to find out if that's still occurring or not.
Okay. I mean, we can, I don't anticipate the workshop
January.
having much more on the agenda beyond the tentative work program, so it could be at 11 o'clock, 11 to 12.
I'm wrong. I'm sorry. That was for December 14th. And you said January 14th?
I said January, correct.
Yeah, okay. I'm okay. I got
That's
a clear
good.
source, so I don't have to-
Never mind. All right. Commissioner Starkey, we're glad you made it with us.
For a while, thank you.
So, and just before adjournment, our next meeting is Thursday, February 11th. Our next scheduled meeting is Thursday, February 11th at the Newport Richey side, correct? Okay,
Correct.
okay. And is there anything else anyone has today before we adjourn?
Looking forward to working with everyone and doing some good things.
Good to have you here.
Well, you're not the mayor, you're a commissioner or?
Councilman.
Councilman. Councilman Murphy, we're glad to have you here today.
Thank you.
And what I appreciate is you jumped right in there and took a position when it was available to you. So I really appreciate that. The other thing I want to mention is I know Manny retired yesterday, I guess, right?
Right.
And I don't know why he didn't wait until tomorrow to retire. I'm not sure. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to thank both of you for jumping in and doing what you've done. And it's not easy. I know it isn't. Terry and Tanaya, we certainly appreciate everything you've done. And then I would be remiss if I didn't welcome Council or Commissioner Fitzpatrick over there. So
Thank you.
I'm sorry I didn't
muted.
welcome you first.
Thank you.
But we're glad to have you, and I hope one day to actually meet you too, in person. That would be nice. Okay, is there anything else we have? If not, we're at the end of the agenda and we're adjourning the meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sarah.
We're off 5, right? Are we off, sir?